Hello, and welcome to Time About the Movies Flashback. We're flashing back a couple of weeks after our last episode because weekend of April 4th was not that memorable. So we're jumping ahead to March 28th, 1986 with four notable movies here, including the latest film from Federico Fellini, sports classic for some people, some others not so much, but we begin this week by taking a look at one of the more high-profile releases of the weekend, the latest film produced by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks and Shelley Long, and that is Richard Benjamin's The Money Pit.
Anna and Walter are young, single, and in love. They've got good jobs, fabulous futures, a magnificent new home that they bought for a song. Who says they can't have it all? It's gonna be fun fixing it up. You'll see. Look, this is an old house. It's gonna need some work. $5,000? It's just a deposit. A little work. When do you think you can start? Just as soon as your check clears. A little care. Do you really buy this house? Yes, it is. A little imagination, and it's gonna be great. Oh, no! Hey, Mr. Fielding, come by and let us see. Okay, guys. The Money Pit. If they've got what it takes, it's going to take everything they've got. Coming this Christmas from Universal Pictures.
As you can tell, it did not come out for Christmas '85. They actually reshot the opening shot on Thanksgiving, so that's why they had to push the film back all the way to March. And the film didn't do gangbuster business overall. In fact, it largely came and went until it found a renaissance through cable television, and of course has been a prolific favorite on Blu-ray and DVD, and Shout Factory actually just gave it a nice 4K release not too long ago. But Money Pit is a story about Tom Hanks and Shelley Long as a couple who attempt to renovate a recently purchased house. And, there's only one catch, though. The second they move in, the house starts falling apart, starting with the stairway collapsing to the bathtub falling through the floor, and eventually the chimney falling into the house. Finally, they have to renovate the house before the frame collapses, but the renovations are proving to be a disaster. So, in a way, it's a remake kind of a Mr. Blandings Built His Dream Home, except with more wacky comedy to it. And yeah, talk about a bizarre concept for a movie. But here's the funny thing about this concept. It actually gets much deeper than you think. Think about it. The thing that makes this movie much more than you expect it to be is that the house they buy becomes sort of an allegory for Tom Hanks and Shelley Long's marriage. I mean, really think about it. All throughout this movie, you're watching this couple who are madly in love with each other at first, but then they just start to hate each other. The condition of the house gets worse and worse and worse. It's not until the end of the movie when the house is fully back to normal. All of this from a comedy called The Money Pit. You have to give it that. I mean, the movie overall is fine. It's a fun little over-the-top comedy. Hanks and Long do work really well off each other, and it is funny to watch this house slowly but surely destroy itself once these two enter it, and also to watch how insane it gets towards the end. It's a harmless, funny comedy that I think could have been a whole lot better had it not resorted to those old cliches. Like, I don't like that they took I don't like these type of films that are in this particular movie here, but when it works very well. The production design overall is really good. There are some good bits of comedy in it overall. It's a good, funny, over-the-top comedy. It's not a great movie overall, but it's not a disaster by any means necessary. I mean, it's a movie that is fully aware of what exactly it is, and I think it works very well because of it overall. So, take that for what you will. So, that's my thoughts on The Money Pit. So, let's go ahead and move on to the other big new release for this weekend. Paramount trying to create a new horror franchise outside of Friday the 13th with April Fool's Day.
Paramount Pictures cordially invites you to the party to end all parties.
April Fool. You are such a jerk. Something wrong?
April Fool's Day. Get ready to party till you drop. Rated R.
Starts Thursday, March 27th at a theater near you.
Maybe not really a new horror franchise, because this is straight up a comedy, pretty much, but a comedy mystery slasher film, as Wikipedia eloquently puts it. It follows a group of college students vacationing during April Fool's Day weekend on an island estate, which is infiltrated by an unknown assailant. And it's a complicated movie overall. This is written by Danilo Bach, who, yeah, he actually was nominated for an Oscar for writing the screenplay for Beverly Hills Cop. So it's interesting that they got him on board. Fred Walton is a director here who's done stuff like other horror movies, like When a Stranger Calls, and you have a cast that includes Tom Wilson from Back to the Future, Deborah Foreman, some notable names in here, Amy Steele. So you've got some notable people from different aspects here: horror films, comedies, some of the biggest hits of all time, Back to the Future, and Beverly Hills Cop. So there is a lot in this movie overall that should make it a good film, but it's definitely a movie that has a little too much going on overall. Like, it really can't figure out what direction it wants to be. Does it want to be a straight-up horror film? Does it want to be kind of a comedy horror? I mean, it can't really figure out the perfect direction to really go for it here. It had an ending that really took a lot of people by surprise, and not in a good way overall. So it's an ambitious movie overall, but kind of like with The Money Pit, there's empty calories that I felt like were left on the table that could have made this something really, really good. But overall, it's fine, I guess. Nothing too significant, nothing too amazing, but it is what it is, so... So let's go ahead now and move on to our next movie, which is Lucas.
Wide receivers?
That.
Position I play?
Oh, is that what you do? Sort of.
Are you interested in cars?
No.
No. Are you interested in being kissed?
It's about falling in love for the first time. Lucas, rated PG-13.
Pretty lame way to sell your movie. I mean, the poster wasn't helping it either. I mean, it's supposed to be like an underdog sports story, but it doesn't certainly feel like that when you watch the marketing for this. But you have a story about a socially inept 14-year-old experiencing heartbreak for the first time when his two best friends, one an older brother figure, and the other a girl with whom he's in love with, fall for each other. And you know, there is a little bit of a sports element to it here, but you don't really see in a lot of the marketing overall. But what you do see in this is the directorial debut for David Seltzer, who later go on to do Punchline and the infamous Shining Through. So maybe they needed to have some strudel in there to get people's attention overall. They have Melanie Griffin try to sell it to you, but you do have Corey Haim here. Corey Haim, Kerry Green, Charlie Sheen, Courtney Thorne-Smith, who actually makes her film debut with Winona Ryder in here. And again, kind of like with all the other movies in here, it doesn't really feel like there's a good connection of what they wanted to do here. Do they want to do an underdog sports story set in high school, or do they just want to do a straightforward underdog high school storyline here? And you can't really get a good grasp on what they're trying to do here. But unlike the other two movies, I think this one works a little bit better because everybody is giving it all in here, and the performances overall are really good. You have a lot of really good young talent in here. I didn't mention Jeremy Piven and Gary Cole, who are also in here as well. And it's a good life lesson overall about life in general, especially growing up in the 80s in high school and all that. I mean, I think it's a very interesting idea, an interesting setup overall. So, uniquely different, but not one of the greatest coming-of-age high school stories overall. So, I guess take that for what you will. But, yeah, this turned out to be a rather quick one overall here. So, let's go ahead and get to our last movie that we have here. The latest from Federico Fellini, and that is Ginger and Fred.
Film by Federico Fellini, Ginger and Fred.
Despite that title and what I said last week, this is not about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, but it's close, though. The title is a reference to the dancing couple of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and the two leads, played by Marcello Mastroianni and Giulietta Messina, portray Italian impersonators of Astaire and Rogers, who reunite after 30 years of retirement for a vulgar and bizarre television extravaganza. And again, yeah, a lot of odd movies this particular week overall. Not bad films, just films that are very odd in the way they present themselves. I mean, this right here is a bizarre premise overall, but it still has that Federico Fellini charm. This is the same guy, of course, that gave us great stuff like La Dolce Vita, and also Nine, and also He did 9, right? 8.5, I should say. I'm thinking of the other 9 movie that's based off Fellini's work. You know, Night of Cabria, Spirits of the Dead, Casanova. You know, this is a really good director overall, and he has a unique visual flair that definitely shows up in this movie overall. And I think, if anything, that makes the movie all the more fun because of what they're doing here. And yeah, it's a bizarre film overall, but a sweet little bizarre film, if you want to even call it that. I mean, it's fine for what it is. It's a good, fun movie, well made. Maybe not one of his better movies, but it's one of the last great films Fellini, one of the last really good films done by Federico Fellini overall. So I do recommend Ginger and Fred. And just like that, we are done with another episode of Time About the Movies Flashback. We'll flash back to March 21st, taking a look at 4 more movies, including probably my overall favorite of the Police Academy movies, in which it's the only one I actually kind of enjoy. Police Academy 3, Back in Training. We also have Just Between Friends, and also one of the Clubhouse Pictures movies, GoBots, Battle of the Rock Lords, and also the cult favorite, Rad. So we got 4 movies to look at next time around, and we'll take a look at all 4 of them coming up next week on the show. So stay tuned for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification button. Check out our playlist as well. Check out our previous episode too. So, with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next week, and until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.